I'm doing it for my daughter.
Partying hard. Oh my God. I met Ryan Phillippe the other night.
How was he?
The
Hot?
coolest. Yeah, he's good. Yeah,
Was he
good.
coolest?
I walked right up to him. I was like, "Yo, what are you doing here?"
Damn.
No one knew who he was.
No one knew who he was?
Yeah,
I would know who he was instantly.
instantly. It was really funny. That was one of the funniest things.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Tim Dillon's birthday party
Mhm.
at the Stand in New York, where Louis J. Gomez does all. Everybody goes to the Stand. They did a show and blah blah blah. Jim Gaffigan was there. Yeah.
How was he?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shook his hand. Talked to him. Talked to Bobby Kelly for a little while.
Trevin, blur this.
Yeah. Keep that.
Trevin,
Enhance.
Zoom in on Sam.
blur.
Zoom in on Sam middle.
Don't zoom in. Not my middle.
Zoom in on middle Sam.
Not my unky middle.
You should oh no, you should call it Unky Middle everywhere.
Did you want to see my unky middle later?
You should do it only to girls who would know that.
Yeah.
Like with it dimes square
yeah.
girls. You want to touch my Unky Middle?
Blicky.
Yeah. Oh. At any rate, no, that was fun. And I'm looking, I'm like, who is this Wes Welker looking mother? I thought it was like a Patriot or a hockey player or something. And I walked by, I didn't really think anything of it. And then downstairs, Brendan Wardell was like, "Hey, Ryan Phillippe's over there." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Get out of my way." I walked over to him. I was like, everybody, and I was with Ryan Long. And he's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "You don't know who Ryan Phillippe is?" I'm like, "Man, you're Canadian." I was like, "Get out of my way." I walked in, I was like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm friends with Tim Dillon." I was like, "What? Oh, man, this is crazy." And then I just blew smoke up for 15 straight minutes. I was like, "Dude,
you're the best ever.
You're so hot."
You're the one.
I was like, man, I mean, obviously on paper, I should hate your guts. You're like a fucking hunky actor from my preteen years. But I was like, somehow you have all the clout and like no one's going to bust your balls. I was like, you have like a weird, no one would fuck with you because you did MacGruber.
He's a Chad.
He is.
How do you spell unky? UNKIE?
I would spell it UNKIE. But you could spell it UNKY if you wanted to, too. If you wanted to go unky.
This shit frying me mud. That's mad funny.
That's a
thing.
thing.
Chris, these are perfect.
Thank you.
Because I think that Trevin, edit the part of my spit out. The sound of it, but leave this. Put a sound effect in. Put a horn sound effect in when I spit.
Put an old. Yeah.
Yo, you got to bring the soundboard back.
Oh, no.
Chris, we have a channel that's for single just phrases.
Yeah.
And Chris wrote, "This shit frying me mud."
That was Damiel says that, so I had to put it down there.
Like when like something you can't understand.
It's just it would be like it's cracking me up, and mud is like a term of endearment.
That's so funny.
So my mud is like, you're my mud.
Wow.
That's a very interesting thing to me, by the way.
What? Dot matrix or just
when it's that idea is called path dependence.
Like Bitcoin, sort of.
I think I talked about this in the past in the context of cryptocurrency, but like if you had the way that all American electricity is wired up, if you were like, hey, you know how you lose something like half your power every 500 miles or whatever. How ask ChatGPT, how quickly do you lose power on high voltage lines? But if you had some way of wiring American homes differently that was safer and kids can't electrocute themselves and it couldn't cause a fire, if you had some like new electricity 2.0 type thing, you couldn't do it because you'd have to tear apart every house in America and rewire it from scratch. So path dependency is like there is a lot of things. Evolution is like this. There are local maximas that once you reach, you can't come back down. So the way a nautilus eye evolved, if you believe in evolution, which I don't necessarily believe in, but the way
welcome
to
us.
Thank you. I'm here.
Yeah.
But the way that
I'm glad to see you.
The way that the nautilus eye developed, you would have a photosensitive piece of skin, and the photosensitive piece of skin, or whatever you call it, not skin, but whatever you call that tissue on the outside of the body, it would either sense light or darkness. Okay, and having a sense of light or darkness would give you an evolutionary advantage, because if a predator was near, it would become dark. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it would
If you were
form
just-
a shadow, you mean?
If you were totally blind,
Yeah.
you're a sitting duck. If you can see light or shadow, just white or black, you now have an advantage over something that's totally blind, right?
Right.
And so the Nautilus eye, the way that it evolved, if you believe in evolution,
Welcome to us.
I'm here, is that there was a calcified ridge that started to form around that light sensing tissue. And when you have a ridge, the ridge would like obscure some of the light. So now you can tell if this side's light and this side's dark, that there's a predator over here or over here, and that gives you an advantage. You can tell like which direction the predator roughly is. And then that calcified ridge gets bigger and bigger and bigger until finally you have a pinhole camera, which is what a Nautilus eye is.
What we have.
No.
No.
Totally different thing.
Totally different thing.
Totally, very in the sense that once you develop a calcified ridge that forms a pinhole camera, you cannot go from there to something as sophisticated as a human eye.
Oh, okay. The opposite of a human eye, then.
It's
Almost.
it's
Well,
like
not really.
it's essentially a very, like, we still have an iris, but it's a totally different thing.
It'd be like looking through a pipe.
Yes.
Like looking through like a 2-foot long piece of pipe.
Well, have you seen
Versus like an iris that can multi-scan, like a sensor.
the human eye is like much more sophisticated and complicated than a pinhole camera. But once you get that pinhole camera with light sensing tissue behind it, you can't evolve rods and cones and all the shit that's in a human eye.
Okay.
Like if you build the world's best kite, you can't turn that into a Formula One car.
Copy that.
Know what I mean?
Yep.
So, so you in evolutionary terms, a local maximum is like you reach the highest point that you can get to from this road down here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another road. If you could go back down and unevolve, there's a higher peak you could go to from some different route.
It's like ideas got a body count, and ain't no one ever forgetting by the time you ate.
There you go.
Right?
Yes.
I'm just using abstractions.
That's all we're doing.
But
here.
it's like, bro, ain't no one ever forgetting the time that you drank all the basketball teams.
drank a load from a Slurpee cup.
Yo,
You ain't
you
never
can't-
going back.
You ain't never gonna be.
Exactly.
Okay, no, I know
Exactly.
I got you. But yeah,
And path dependence, it's like I wash my hair is dirty, I dry it off, my hair is wet. That doesn't make sense.
mm-hmm.
You reorganize. There's only one path that those things can
Be.
work in. Why did I start talking about this?
Because eBay sucks.
Oh yeah. Once they fully built eBay,
Yep.
they can't like undo the
What-
way that it's built.
They're like, no, we have a simple machine here. This works this
That's
way.
how a lot of things are.
If you're ever wondering why Amazon looks so janky, it works great. It works
Mhm.
perfectly, but it doesn't look like a modern website
No.
because they can't reconfigure it. They can't rebuild it. They can't make it a slick modern website. It has to have like
Coupons.
crusty ass buttons and recommendations here.
Mhm.
And it's because if it like the engineers, they look at it and they're like, if we take the recommendations away, it totally breaks the shopping cart.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
Yeah, we're fucked. Literally, yeah.
All the guys that built it are
it
retired.
just turns the camera on the office.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, oh, we take it out. Like, watch this. It just shows them, and they're like, please, sir, please. It's like when people catch Indian people,
yeah.
and they're like, Gary, how's the office looking right now, Marind? And he's like, no.
The CCTV at the Indian call center, everybody's scrambling. They're spilling drinks on their keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most telling things, and I've said this before on the show, but this is worth digging into again. You know the Davos conferences where like the world leaders convene?
Like the seat, what's it called? The big one.
CFR?
Yeah.
It's kind of similar. Can you type in Davos exit survey? So these conferences where all the big wigs go, right?
Yep.
They do this exit survey thing. You can get this off the screen because it's not related. They do an exit survey where it's like they ask all the people in attendance, world leaders, company leaders, CEOs, all the people that are like running the show. They give them a survey, and the survey is the one that I saw, which might have been from 2020 or 2019 or something, was like, do you believe that we will have computers in our brains within the next 5 years? Do you believe that we will have flying cars within the next 10 years? Do you believe that 90% of U.S. companies within the next 15 years will be run by software only?
Can you see this?
We could find this. We could find this.
Ooh, that's exciting.
It's sci-fi fantasy shit that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Do you believe that computers will be able to diagnose and solve cancer remotely via FTP servers within the next 6 months? Fantasy shit, okay? Do you believe we'll be brains living in tanks, living in hermetically sealed goo tanks connected to wires in 50 years? And it's like 90% of these people think that shit's true.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes.
I would pay.
No, I'm not kidding you.
I'm not kidding you. I'd pay $20,000 of money that I really don't have to see, honestly, like that would be like Barrett Jackson to me to be able to like take a look at those answers.
It's very Barrett Jackson. And the reason is because these people are morons.
Yes.
And they're all addicted to the hype and the FOMO, and they want the next big thing, and whatever like whiff of tech is circulating, they're like, oh, I see a way to 10x my billions.
Do you know how that is?
Mm-hmm.
That is so fucking
Dilly Billy.
Mm-hmm.
like to believe that. That's like when a general manager of like a mid-level general manager nitwit thinks that like a new software that implemented into the company is going to like 10x sales. If that 10x,
we got this new computer system, Nick, trust me. Wait till we get this computer fired up. It's going to fix everything.
$1 million a month, $1 million, and like
$2 million a week.
Like if it 10x is anything, I'll take a fucking 50-gallon drum of motor oil in front of you while I back off. I'll humiliate myself with a hammer. And like you know this because if you're the average pragmatic, practical brain, when someone feeds you a line of bullshit like that, your skepticism is valid. You should just be like, that sounds like the old too good to be true model. Well, they'll give it to you 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Tell someone a good idea and you'll get fucking shit on by these types of people. Like, oh, I think I'm gonna do videos and make money from it. Ha! Sounds too good to be true.
Good luck with that.
I think I'll just go to work every day from 9 to 5, and I think that'll work just fine. But at the same time, like they're gonna hit you with something like that, where it's like, this is wow.
The people running the show, it's an auto parts store manager who thinks that a pair of Google Glass is gonna make it so that everything's
and his employees wearing Apple Watches is gonna make him 10 times the money.
Fitbits.
What?
I'm looking at something that's similar to what I wanted. It's like what they fear the most, what world leaders fear the most, and it's extreme weather events.
Oh my god!
And misinformation and disinformation.
Why? Because they don't look like fucking
Dilly Billy.
when they're spouting it off at a party.
Yeah.